Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and once again, we're going to check out the Riftbreaker. The Riftbreaker is a game that you can find on Steam for about $30. It is 45% off right now until June 27th, so if you like what you see, now is the time to get the game, because there's a lot here. If you like Factorio but wanted something faster paced, then you'll like it. As far as why I'm covering this today, a new update has just hit, the World Expansion update, and that also includes a new DLC called Heart of the Swamp. You can get that Heart of the Swamp DLC for $10. Now, before we get started with actual stuff, I wanted to quickly show you what the updates were, because it's kind of broken up into two sections. One is free content, and the other one is just paid content via that DLC. So as you can see here, the World Expansion 3 free content update. That includes the new fungal swamp biome, and then there's 2 new survival mode scenarios. There's new gameplay mechanics, there's multiple new species of creatures, more than 70 new research items and technologies, new weapons and defensive towers, and numerous quality of life improvements, performance optimizations, and balancing changes. Just pause the video here if you want to read more of that in greater detail. This is pulled straight from my press kit/press email. Now, moving on to the actual paid DLC stuff. It says experience an exciting new branch of story campaign, investigate the massive great mushroom tree, expand your campaign mode technology tree by researching unique technologies that can only be acquired in this biome, collect information on new creatures, vegetations, and other curiosities, bring the great mushroom tree back to its former glory, adapt your base building methods to make the most out of limited building space in the flooded swamp, face fearsome enemies that will test your skills in all kinds of combat, and finally, the story portion of this expansion is integrated within the main campaign. So if you've already completed the campaign, you can continue the campaign and it'll act like it's almost at the end, but then dialogue options will appear and you'll be able to experience this new stuff. So again, this new expansion is integrated into the existing campaign. So whether you're new, if you're new, you'll eventually get to it. If you're a returning player that's already beaten this, then just load your save and you'll get it almost immediately. All right, so with all of that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the actual content here. So for those of you that have never played Riftbreaker before, this is an action RPG with some base building and base defense. In fact, it's the majority of what you'll be doing. There's no conveyor belts in this game. Whenever you construct a building and create resources, it's kind of automatically added into your pool, so to speak. There is an energy network that you have to worry about. You can customize your experience almost any way you want to, like there are custom difficulty sliders. This is my favorite part of the game. Being able to, whether it's the campaign or skirmish, being able to customize the difficulty how I like. So that is super awesome. That alone keeps me coming back to this game. So Riftbreaker as a whole, I highly recommend. It's just a lot of fun to play. As far as the new content is concerned, well, it's creepy. I'll just say it's creepy. It starts you off, again, I continued my playthrough from having beaten it, so it kind of just appeared automatically. But it started off with these purple objects just flying over my base, and after a fetch quest or two, it let me transport into the new biome, into the new area. And, you know, that's to be expected. I mean, it's a new DLC, new areas, all that good stuff. So I had to leave my base behind, but, you know, the resources that you create in the other zones do carry over into the other ones, which is great. Now, if you're, again, new to this game, I'll just quickly show you what you can do with your character. And again, I know I'm kind of pandering to the new people here, but I think it's super important to know what you're getting into. There is a huge research tree, huge, and there's 3 tabs to them as well. So you'll be able to, you know, unlock so much technology. This is either it's campaign or skirmish. You'll have plenty of time and plenty of ways to upgrade your character, make him better, unlock new things. So if you're all about like unlocking stuff to make your character better, like there's so much here. I don't even know what half of it does. I just Unlock it to unlock it. Even after, 50 hours of play. I'm sure I've got over 100 at this point. There's even an RPG element to this, too. You can equip swords and guns and flamethrowers and different things, missile launchers, but you have to craft them first. And that requires materials. And there are like better versions of the things that you're getting. So, there's a basic sword, there's an upgraded sword, there's like a really rare sword. So as you get better materials, you get better things. And again, you're going to be jumping around to different locations. But eventually, and that's what this DLC is all about, you'll go to the new swamp biome and you'll run into this huge mushroom tree. And as the Word document I showed off earlier stated, you're trying to restore this thing, trying to figure out what's going on with it, why is it dying, what's it being infested with, that kind of thing. I don't want to spoil too much of it because, this is a discovery kind of thing, and, I just don't want to ruin it. It's got the same length as far as I can tell as some of the other DLC that I've played, and it's quite fun. So all in all, it's not bad, but I will just real quick say that I had some optimization issues. When I loaded this area, this new swamp biome for the first time, I don't know what happened, but like it actually hard locked my computer and everything. I was getting like 1 to 2 frames per second. It was awful. So I actually had to move the files over to my SSD and adjust some graphical settings, turn off ray tracing, for example. That seemed to do the trick, but it's still a little bit laggy. And this seems to happen every time the developers add a major patch. Optimization goes down the tubes for a bit until they re-optimize it or whatever. So just be warned, it may tax your system a bit, especially if you don't have a fully upgraded one. But other than that, besides like the optimization and stuff like that, this game is a lot of fun. This new DLC, I will warn you though, is like you're given very limited land space. You kind of have to like figure out how to build your base with the very limited area that you've been given. So if you're all about the cramped base build style, this DLC is for you. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.